Alrighty. How you doing, folks? Ron Raymond here from the Raymond Report, along with Ross Benjamin from Ross Benjamin Sports for Thursday, August 27th. Top of the morning to you, Mr. B.
Top of the morning to you as well, Mr. Raymond, my favorite Canadian guy. I
Right
hope
on.
all is well.
Yeah, things are good. A little cloudy overcast here today, about 1920. I don't know what that in Fahrenheit is. Probably about 65 or something like that.
Yes,
So
2.5 times. Yep.
yeah. So yeah, not a bad day. It's a good day to work, I guess. That's one thing I like about cloudy, rainy days, right? It's always a good day to work.
Yeah, especially when you work at home.
Yeah, for sure. So not a bad day yesterday. Had the Flyers and the hockey, and we talked about it a bit off air. We're very selective now when it comes to playoff sports, and I think hockey yesterday. If there was a time the Flyers to really win a game, it was to me. I thought it was yesterday, and I had the Cubs, which was a loser, but they almost came back, and then I had the Phillies as my free newsletter play, which people can get each and every day just by subscribing at atsstats.com. But hey, Ross, those are the type of days. I'll take those days any days, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, if you notice, I'm sitting a little lower in my seat today, Ron.
You took the wallet down a bit.
Yeah, exactly. I went 0-2 in my paid selections yesterday. I even lost my free pick. I had the Mets and Marlins under 7.5. Hey, one of those days, the good news is still since July 29th, I'm 50-31 with my paid selections at 62%. I'll take that anytime. And I've won 7 of my last 11 free picks on the videos I put up at atsstats.com and on the OSGA YouTube channel. So, hey, we've talked about this. When you have a bad day, you got to move on,
Yep.
So like
And,
you say, we're another day that ends in Y and the sun is shining. So.
Yeah, well,
but in your case,
not
no.
here, it's overcast here. But hey, but you know what though, you've got the track record of after a bad day, and if you want to consider 0-2 a bad day, but you've got the track record that you always bounce back, and your clients know that. They know once you one of those days that you have a great track record. And hey, this is I always say you got to track it through cycles, right? And one day doesn't make a cycle. And look at your year-long record. Same as me. I had a bit of an downswing there about 10 days ago, but finally turned things around. Now I'm 11 and 2 in my last 5 days in baseball and hockey. So pretty good so far. And hey, man, it's like that's why we're a team, right? We have good. Good
hey,
stuff
we're
here.
transparent. You know what I mean? I brag when I win, not to brag, but again, you gotta advertise yourself, right? But I also am transparent when I lose. And you are as well. So
yep, absolutely.
It's gaining trust from your clients, and that goes a long way too. So
honesty, right?
The days of people saying they hit 75% all the time are gone. Saying not that we ever did that, but I think the general public is well aware of that. So
yeah. Now we've been tracking the SBI Ross here since hey. One thing I noticed when I sent you that invitation this morning, did you know this is show number 27 of Raymond Report?
Seems
along
like
with
yesterday
Ross
we
Benjamin.
started.
Hey, it's can't believe it's already show number 27, and we'd like to thank everybody who follows us every day. And again, folks, show 27. Let us know what you think. If you enjoy these shows, what part of the show do you like the best? Do you like the SBI? Do you like when we break down games? Do you like when we get off on a tangent? Just let us know.
Which happens quite often.
Yeah, or crazy.
Especially in this chair here.
Yeah.
Ron's got to reel me in at times.
Yeah, I always say my Bob Newhart sense of humor. And,
but buzzer, the buzzer from Cheers when I get off on a tangent.
Buzzer. Yeah, never been in my kitchen, Alex. Had that one show of Jeopardy. Yeah, but he's never been in my kitchen. But yeah, no, we'd love to hear from you guys. We know we we said the other day we couldn't even walk the streets in Ghana anymore because of how popular we are in the community of Ghana. We got some good feedback from the guys who listen to us in Mexico City, so we appreciate that. We appreciate people reaching out and let us know how they.
We're global. We're
Yeah.
global. That's the beauty about doing podcasts, on the internet. It's the days of, you're on just in a certain market. This is the beauty. I mean, you could be seen all over the world.
Yeah, and the thing is that different people all over the world, different nationalities tune into the show, and soccer guys are tuning in, hockey guys from Canada and the United States. But hey, we covered it all, right, Ross?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the mainstream sports. I mean, we're not doing. Well, you do horse race. Are you still doing horse racing?
Oh
Your
yeah,
show?
yeah. Still
Yeah.
do horse racing. I have a different channel for that. But if you go to ATS Stats, actually I updated our free picks this morning. We got some good tracks going today. Gulfstream, Saratoga. So horse racing still there, and I really enjoy horse racing, especially when it's a downtime in the summer when it's
Yeah.
only baseball.
Well, I
going.
mean, that COVID-19 period, it was optimal to do that then.
That's where I really put a lot of energy into that. But
Yeah.
looking at baseball, Ross, man, the favorites again. I feel like I just got to rewind the tape
Oh, boy.
and just hit play. 10-2 again yesterday for the favorites. Now look at this: 83% yesterday of favorites came in, 59% on the 3-day average. But we had a little bit of disruption right here that
Yeah.
brought the average down to 52.9. But still, 63.8% on the 7-day average. We're open season here in the neutral market for over-unders. 49.5% of the overs have come in, but as we'll say 50, and 47.1 on the 7-day average. The last 2 days, though, Ross, the under has come in 5-6-1 yesterday, 5-8-3, and depending on what line or total you got, this could be off by a hooker or whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen some people put 5-5-2, but no, I think we're right there. NHL, big day if you like the chalk yesterday. 3-0 for the favorites yesterday, Ross. For the over-under, sorry, and for the favorites. 3-0 for the over-unders, 2-0 the day before, 1-1. So the favorites on the 7-day average, 71.4% of favorites in hockey are coming in. Overs in hockey, and then 50% on the.
Yeah, you got to take a look at that, Ron. Am I seeing 3-3 yesterday on the over and unders in hockey?
3-3.
Oh no,
overs.
it's 3-0. I'm sorry, because it's blended in with the red. My bad.
Yeah, no problem. And then we had 3-0 to the favorites, 1-1. So, hey, and this is why for me betting NBA and NHL playoff sports, and you do it too. You're very patient that way in that sense too with your handicapping. That
You can't just bet a game, or you can't give out a game or bet a game just for the sake because there's a game. You know what I mean? And again, I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but I'll make this short. I could equate it to Monday Night Football, Ron, right? You take a Monday Night Football game, it's the only game on the board, and you feel compelled that you have to give it out as a handicapper like us, or as a bettor, you need to make a bet, especially if you're behind on the week. But the bottom line is if you took that Monday game and put it on the Sunday card when there's 13 or 14 other games, would you use it? And you have to have that mentality in the playoffs, right? Because the schedule is now condensed. So that's my rant.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And I think people, they don't care. It's like they just want action on the game, so they have something, a rooting interest in their, and that's 2020 when in sports in a nutshell. If they're watching it, they need some type of fantasy angle.
They need action.
Yeah. They need action junkies, right? That's what we call them. But Ross, we got a lot of baseball games here going today. Can you see this one here now?
Yes,
the forecast?
absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now, we're going to be very careful on some of the information we give here today because a lot of this is changing on the fly as we speak in hockey.
Yep.
You got, pitching changes. You got, even some of my sources, I'm looking at the lines, they're changing. Then, I go back and they're off the board. So this is going to be a crazy day for MLB. Now we're going to go to game number one, a game that should have been played yesterday. because of the social injustice protests. You got San Diego taking on the Seattle Mariners. Minus 225 is the price. I don't know what it was yesterday. If it was in that ballpark with Dinelson Lamet going against Yusei Kikuchi. I'll just take a quick look here at my so yesterday, minus 200 I had. So now overnight it went up $25.
I guess they figure what another day of rest for Lamet. I don't know way to make sense.
That's the
of
only
that.
angle I can think. Now looking at the forecast, big forecast here, 6.95 to 3.41. The over-under set at 10.36. And when I look at yesterday's forecast, it had Seattle winning 4.9 and then 4.52. So this is why it's so important to look at the lines. And if you're following the forecast, anytime there's a line change, the forecast can change, because what we do with our algorithms, Ross, is we go get the information that's pertinent to today, this exact game. Just that $25 line moves changes the forecast, because we go get other queries that involve a line that had 225 over under 8.5, and then the coming off situations, and that's why you see a change in our forecast.
Hey Ron, this is game one of the doubleheader we're looking at.
3:10 start.
All right, I think because I got Richards against Kikuchi in game one, they made a change. I don't know. You might want to double.
I'm seeing that too. And then if I go look at my other sources, so these again.
This is why we don't bet doubleheaders. This is why
exactly. But San Diego, 2-game losing streak prior to this. Maybe, I don't know. Now the whole thing is out of whack. But we talked about this yesterday. Lamet, a good power pitcher. We talked about back in the day, where those power pitchers would last like 7-8 innings. But again, I don't know much more to say on this game. You?
No, it's a crapshoot, because like we just alluded to, the starting pitching matchups are all over the place. Even if it is Richards against Kikuchi, I mean, we don't know who's going to be in the lineup in the games. You know what I mean? They got alternate players. Those are 2 7-inning games, something we haven't been accustomed to in the past. So.
Yeah. Pittsburgh taking on the Cards. We got 161 price here on St. Louis. Over under set at 7. I'm seeing 7. I don't know if you're seeing 7. I'm just going to take a quick refresh here. 6.5, 7. Yeah, and that's because you got Kwang Young Kim going up against Chad Kuhl. But you know what? These names don't ring a 7 to me. What about you?
Well, I mean, Kim's coming off a real good start, and Kuhl, probably Pittsburgh's best pitcher, Ron. I mean, you mentioned yesterday he's on the trade market, and he's on the trade market for a reason. People are teams, I should say, that feel like they're in contention for the playoffs, going to make a strong push, are looking to add a 4th or 5th starter to the rotation, and Kuhl might be that guy. It's St. Louis coming off that momentum-building win yesterday, Ron, down 5-2 going into the bottom of the 9th. They scored 4 to beat Kansas City 6-5. I think that's the second 9th inning rally they've had in the last week. Because we went against them with Cincinnati last week with Gray, both of us, and they overcame a 4-2 9th inning deficit in that one. So showing a lot of character and heart, those Cardinals.
Yeah, it just, when I look at this pitching matchup, it's not like DeGrom against Cole or Kershaw. It just, seeing these two names and you label a 7 right here.
I get it. I get what you're saying. And plus, Pittsburgh's bullpen real shaky. So
but forecast going to go with the Cards here. 5.45 over to 4.41. The over under at 9.86. Like, even the total seems right to me here on this accumulated total.
That's what you more in line. If they told you this was 9.5, you wouldn't bat an eyelash. Oh,
exactly.
Say, okay, well, that's accurate.
Yeah. St. Louis on the year, Ross, 7-5, 6-5-1 to the over under. Pittsburgh, man, 2-10 on the road this year, 6-5-1 as a road underdog, only averaging 3.08 points for, giving up 5.58. Looking at some of the stats here for Pittsburgh, man, since 1996, I'm going way back here in the archives here. I feel like there should be like a spiral effect in the background here, going way back machine. The under 16, 26 and 0 to the under for the Pirates on the roll when the total 6.5. I didn't realize there was that many 6.5 back in the day for the Pirates.
I thought it was 7. Isn't it 7 you just said? Or is
Okay,
it 6
yeah,
and a half?
but I guess it must have opened up at 6.5 and then it went up to 7. So, man, again, even 6.5, I was like, what's going on here? But hey, we said it at the top of the show. It's a funky day for numbers, right? Kogo at 37%. Another doubleheader here, Ross. San Fran taking on the Dodgers. You got Clayton Kershaw up against Kevin Gossman. Now, you look at different sources. They say this is the second game, but just for funs and giggles here, we're going to go with 405. Minus 230 is the price. 4.72, 3.17. The over-under set at 7.89. And looking at the Giants here, just still on the 7-game win streak because they didn't play yesterday. But I don't know. Kershaw coming into, I think he can do a number and snap that win streak today.
Kershaw dominant against the San Francisco Giants throughout his career. And this current Giants lineup, Ron, is 54-262 against Kershaw. That's good for a 191 batting average, or bad for a 191 batting average. So, again, it's tough to go against Kershaw in this spot. And it's also tough to go against a team that's this big of an underdog that's won 7 straight, Ron.
Yeah, absolutely. Cincinnati taking on the Brew Crew. Now, again, this game was set aside yesterday for political reasons, and now they'll be playing today. And it looks like we have Sonny Gray up against Adrian Hauser. But again, looking at some of the sources, I know you mentioned it earlier.
Doubleheader, right, Ron?
Yeah, doubleheader. And now, Wade Miley against Josh Lindblom, but that might be in the second game. And looking at the first game.
I believe Wade Miley's the first game.
Okay.
And the second game's undecided on both sides. We were talking about this off air, why they would have Gray scheduled to pitch yesterday, and then we go into a doubleheader scenario, and he's not listed as one of the pitchers in the 2 games. You would think that Gray would be optimal in this situation to protect. Cincinnati's bullpen's been better of late, but when you get a 7-inning game and a guy like Gray, you pretty much have good hopes he could put a complete game together for you.
Oh, absolutely. Game number 2 here. Well, also Colorado. I know this is probably opening up a wound here, but Colorado against Arizona. Minus 148 is the price today on the D-backs, who are on an 8-game losing streak. And we talked about this off air. They had an identical game in Colorado that finished 8-7, and Colorado was up 8-2. Then the bullpen, barely hung on. And again, same thing last night, 8-7, almost like a mirror image of that first game that they played back in August. Now looking at the line, 148 over under at 8. ATS forecast, this blew me away when I saw this morning. 10.73 to 5.5, the over under at 16.23. Wow. I think the algorithms thinks we're playing at Coors today, but we're at Chase Field.
2 good starting pitchers too, Ron.
Kyle Freeland and Zach Gallen.
2 guys that have pitched real well this year.
Yeah, no, and looking at the forecast again, 10.73, 80% chance of winning for Arizona. As the more they keep losing, the higher this chance of winning of the law of average keeps getting higher. 24% for the Rockies. We're on a 3-game win streak. I believe this is the 4th game of the series, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, and 55% chance of this game going over the total. I'm just going to take a look here on the 4th game of a series. So road teams this year, Ross, on the 4th game of a series. It's funny how the Raymond Reports works. Hey, we just got that right there at the tip of our fingers. 8-13 straight up for road teams. So, you know what? If you do like Arizona today to get off that losing streak, you got one of their top pitchers going up today, but he's going up against another good one in Kyle Freeland. But let me see the value. We had Arizona at plus 117, but you're getting – bookmakers like him at 148. I like Gallen here today, hopefully to get this bull, get the bull back in the ocean and start rolling again.
Yeah, I went against my cardinal rule yesterday and made a cardinal sin by taking Arizona on a 7-game losing streak. As Ron alluded to, they were down 8-1 in that game, scored 2 in the bottom of the 8th, and then scored 4 more in the bottom of the 9th and left the bases loaded. So falling short, losing that game 8-7. By the way, Kyle Freeland this year 5-1 under in 6 starts with a 2.87 ERA. Zach Gallen 4-1-1 to the under this year with a 2.25 ERA. And the Arizona Diamondbacks 1-7 this year against left-handed starting pitchers. And Kyle Freeland is a lefty.
Yeah, and Colorado's feeling good, right? Like they come in here, they were below 500, and now they're a game above.
They came in on a long losing streak as well, Ron. They came into this. Both teams came in with a bad. I mean, talk about one of them was going to get well, and Colorado certainly has.
Yeah, they're 16-50 now, 6 games behind the Dodgers, and Padres are 4 games behind. So should be a good one here tonight. First pitch, 6:10 Eastern. Oakland taking on the Texas Rangers, another high-scoring game. It was back-to-back, big games here, big numbers. 10.65, 7.29. The over-under set at 17.94. Maybe if this was the old Arlington Park where it was hitters ballpark friendly. But Chris Bassett going up against Jordan Lyles today for the Texas Rangers. Again, Oakland minus 179 price, 2-game win streak. 58% chance this game going over the total. I had the line at minus 183, Ross. It's at 179, so fair market value.
Yeah.
Pardon?
Pretty accurate.
Yeah, so pretty accurate. So fair market value. If you like, hey, I keep waiting for Oakland to go in the tank on a 2-3 game win streak, but all they do is just string W. So Moneyball is in full effect in Oakland.
Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go in a tank, it's not going to be against a team that's lost 10 of their last 11. But quick note here, Ron, and it goes right hand in hand with your total of 17.94. Jordan Lyles 4-1 over the total in 5 starts this year with a 10.08 ERA, and also the Texas Rangers current rostered against Chris Bassett is 16 for 45. That's a 356 team batting average. If we're going to get a high-scoring game, this would be the spot to do it based on those numbers.
Yeah. Home teams this year, Ross, on a 2-game losing streak, the over 28-17. And let me see here. Home teams coming off a home loss as an underdog, 55-29-4 to the over. So
55-29. That's great. That's almost about 65%.
Yeah, 58%.
What a big sample size beside.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of volume, right? 58% chance this game going over the total and coming off a game that went under. Fits our law of average theory. It's going to have to go on the old check mark list here for this game here this evening. All right, here we got the Boston Red Sox taking on the Toronto Blue Jays at Hitters Park in Buffalo. And you got minus 190 the price here on Toronto. Over under set at 10. That's almost like a 10 you see at Fenway. The forecast going with the Boston Red Sox here, 6.02, 4.69, the over-under at 10.71. You got Hyun-Jin Ryu going today, who's having a pretty good year for the Toronto Blue Jays since the acquisition, up against Chris Mazza for the Boston Red Sox, and 52% chance this game going over the total today. And, Boston, they seem to can't put winning streaks together, right? They win one game and then and then they lay an egg the next game. So
it's hard to put winning streaks together, Ron, when your pitching's that bad. You know what I mean? You have to outscore. When I say obviously you have to outscore an opponent to win, but it's almost like you have to win slugfest all the time, or your offense has to put up 10 runs. I'm being a bit hypothetical there, but anyway, you talked about Hitters Ballpark in Buffalo, and the wind today is going to be blowing out 9 to 13 miles an hour to left center. The Blue Jays hit another 3 home runs yesterday in their temporary home at Salem Field in Buffalo. Hyun-Jin Ryu, you mentioned him, Ron. He's having a great year. He's in excellent form over his last 4 starts. During that time, a 1.23 ERA and an 0.68 WHIP. And Hyun-Jin Ryu in his career team starts against losing teams, less than 500, that is, 47-16.
Yeah. Chris Mazza, didn't he? I think he came from the Mets. And,
one start this year, and he was real shaky.
Yeah. And no, it's going to be a tough he's got a 6.35 ERA, a WHIP of 2.12, but he's only
that's including his relief appearances. But, I mean, the one start he had was horrible. And again, you can't expect a lot of innings out of Mazza, right, Ron?
No,
And then you got to depend on that bullpen, which is we've talked about it on numerous occasions.
well, let's be honest. Boston right now, they're trying to really trying to find themselves and trying to really get respectability in their pitching staff because how many times have we seen different pitching start? Kyle Hart for yesterday.
They're searching, Ron. It's
Yeah.
almost like they're saying, "Look, it's a short season. We got off to a horrible start. We're not going to make the playoffs. Let's see some of our kids on the mound."
Yeah, and this is where you're going to see the general manager in Boston really earn his paycheck. Like, how do you fix this, right? And we're going to see how they're going to do. Philadelphia Phillies taking on the Washington Nationals. Now, I've heard you say several times on these podcasts that the Phillies bullpen is horrible, right?
Yep.
And I was just like, I was sweating bullets
You got to
last
hold
night.
your breath when you take Philadelphia like you did yesterday. It's
Oh yeah, and I was just sweating bullets yesterday when I saw Workman come in and that hanging curveball. And I'm saying, oh God, he's gonna let
another
one hang
former.
there.
They just got him from Boston, by the way, Ron. So
Oh, did
that? Yeah, you go from Boston's bullpen to Philadelphia's bullpen. That's a heck of a trade.
Yeah, but I'll give him credit. He came in there. He put first two guys on. He had a man on third with only one out, and he was able to close the deal. So for yesterday, he was my best friend for one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and one.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, 170 is the price today. You got Mad Max Scherzer up against Spencer Howard. Forecast, we do have another tight game here. 3.79, 3.72. The over-under is 7.51. Harper got the winning RBI yesterday in that game in a 3-2 win against the Washington Nationals, who are just really trying to salvage this season here by just getting some wins together here. 11-17 on the year, but Philly, 12-14, trying to get to that 500 mark. 12-2 to the over-under on a 3-game win streak. I don't know if that's their first one of the year, but hey, it's gonna be tough today against Mad Max.
Yeah. Beside going against Mad Max, Washington 4-15 this year against right-handed pitchers, and they're going against one of the best right-handed starters, I should say. Also, the Nationals an abysmal 4-12 at home this year, Ron. And you know what? This current Philadelphia roster, as we speak, is 25 for 159 against Max Scherzer. That's a 157 team batting average, and that includes 65 strikeouts in those 159 at bats. Not a good matchup here for Philadelphia.
And Washington at home against an opponent with a 41 to 50% win percentage. 0-9 on the season, 2-6-1 to the under. So
it's a game to stay away from for me. I mean, as far as it's hard to go against Scherzer, and how could you take Washington with the numbers I just alluded to? Their home record's horrible. They're terrible against right-handed pitching. Philadelphia on a 3-game win streak. A lot of conflicting info, right, Ron? And plus a big line for Washington.
Yeah, I just got too much respect for Scherzer here to really go against him, even when the chips are down type thing, right?
Sure, yes.
Baltimore taking on Tampa Bay. Man, these Rays, they're resilient. They're going through a tough time in the bullpen. It looks more like a mash unit. You got Ryan Yarbrough going up against John Means today. If there is a spot, though, for Baltimore to get one here, it might be today. 168 is the price. Over-under set at 8.5. ATS forecast going with the O's here, 4.62, 3.75, 8.37, and quietly, you know what? I'm a Blue Jay. I love the American League East. I follow all those teams because the Blue Jays are there. But Tampa Bay is starting to be one of the teams that I really enjoy watching. They're a fun team to watch, and I just wish their pitching would get healthy. Last 4 games for the O's, I've gone under the total. Tampa Bay on a 2-game win streak. Now going into this one here, we have a 34% chance of winning, but a 60% chance for Baltimore. Game time today is at 6:40 at Tropicana Field. 68% chance of this game going over the total. I do like Baltimore in this spot here today, Ross.
Yeah, you mentioned Tampa Bay. They're an easy team to root for, Ron. I mean, if you're an objective Major League Baseball fan and you have no vested interest, low payroll, small market team, and no superstars to speak of, and they're still getting it done. And they're unequivocally right now the best team in the AL East, especially with the Yankees now have lost 5 in a row. The only drawback I would have with Baltimore in this spot, John Means, in a year that Baltimore's really been a surprise team and they're holding steady, got to give them credit. Their best pitcher last year was John Means, and he's been the polar opposite this year. In 4 starts around, the Orioles are 0-4 with Means on the hill, and his ERA of 10.12 has a lot to do with that. He's only averaging 2.7 innings pitched per start, Ron. Again, we get into looking at those starting pitchers. Are they giving you innings? And if they're not, we have to look at the bullpen. You know what I'm saying, Ron? So that would a real tough call for me here. It's not like Brian Yarborough has pitched good. His last 3 starts, 5.27 ERA and a 1.53 WHIP, and him 4.6 innings pitched per start over the last 3. So again, it's possible that Tampa Bay's bullpen is going to be asked to do a lot in this game.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Ross. If we were in a car dealership, I'd be walking out the door right now, not buying that car because I think you talked me into it.
Yeah,
yeah. That Porsche I was looking at just turned into a Fiat there.
My commissions wouldn't be too good, would they?
Yeah, your commission would be good, but you know what? You probably saved me a bunch of money by switching to Geico. But yeah, 3 innings pitch, 0 point. He didn't even get out of the first inning against Washington. Yeah. No, I'd be long gone. I'd be out the door hailing a cab right now. But you're right.
Just to bring it to the listeners' attention, a lot of what we do when we pick our games is going off air, and when we get done with the show. We're giving you a base foundation. Ron's doing 3 or 4 shows before he even gets to me. You know what I mean? So, and I'm preparing for this show and to give you the best possible information to make you a more educated sports bettor, as well as Ron is. And then we really tackle and really narrow down who we like after this. So when you get opinions like Ron saying off the top of my head, it looks like Baltimore is a good spot. That's why. Yeah.
And this is why we do these shows. So that way, and I, you know me, I don't when I respect somebody like yourself who knows what they're talking about, and we do the show, this is a
we're
homework.
Helping each other.
Yeah. This is, this is homework that when we do these shows, because we're getting ready, because you said it, and I'm the same way. Once we get off air, we probably have a little bite to eat, and then we get right into our databases. Like, I don't think there's anybody in the industry that has databases like we have. Maybe a couple of guys that we know at the top of our head that have access to it. I can only think of a few.
We're in a minority. There's no 2 ways about it, Ron.
Yeah. And we put in a couple of hours right after this, and then you're right. The first feel is Baltimore, but then when you start talking and then you bring out those numbers, and it's like, okay, next. But,
I mean, I've done it on a couple occasions. I noticed over the last week where I say, well, this looks like a good spot for so-and-so. This looks like a good spot for the over. Then you get off air and you look deeper into the game and go, what was I thinking by saying that? So I just want to keep the viewers from not saying, the next day saying, well, Ron liked Baltimore in this game and they lost 10-0, so.
No, hey, and it's like, you like the model of the car, but when you looked under the hood, it's like, oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Minnesota taking on the Tigers. Now, Tigers won a close one yesterday, 7-6 against the Chicago Cubs. Cubs right now, losing 2 to the White Sox, and then I think they lost 2 to the Tigers too.
They did.
After a hot start, we knew, playing that weak division, in St. Louis, thought they'd be a little bit more competitive. Would give them a run for their money for that, the Central, but maybe not. Looking at this game, we got Mr. ERA coming here, Randy Dobnak for Matthew Boyd. I don't know if he's still Mr. ERA. I'm just going to take a look at his numbers right here.
He's real good ERA.
That's what I thought. 1.78.
Right, in 6 starts.
Yeah, so Mr. ERA is up today for the Twins. And, Minnesota, okay, they've had a competitive, a couple of games here against Cleveland. They're still 20-12. And sending Dobnak today against the Tigers. Not a bad price at -150, over under 9.5. Forecast going with Minnesota here, 5.21, 4.36, over under 9.57. Just going to take a quick look at
I had minus 170 at bookmaker, but I'm not positive. That might have changed.
yeah, it could have changed. Just looking at the home and away record here. Yeah. Jekyll and Hyde type team, right?
Yep.
Lindy Ruff here, 12
Yep.
and 3 at home, 8 and 9 on the road. So, you know,
A
I
lot of
hate,
teams will take 8 and 9 on the road, but I mean, yeah, the disparity. I
it's
agree.
just, it's just so big.
Yeah.
And here's the over under at home, 12-3-0, and then 7-7-3 at the over under.
Yeah. And Randy Dobnik, you mentioned how dominant he's been this year. Matt Boyd's been the polar opposite. 6 starts this year, an 8.48 ERA, a 174 WHIP. And you need to consider this too. In those 6 starts, Matthew Boyd has given up 8 home runs, Ron, in 28 and 2/3 innings pitched. That's brutal, and he's going to be facing one of the best power hitting teams in the American League. I know they're not nowhere near on the pace they were a season ago, but this is still a dangerous spot for the Detroit Tigers with a guy who's prone to giving up home runs against a team that's capable of knocking 4 or 5 out of the park in this situation. And also, Boyd first start of the year against Minnesota this year, Ron, he made 3 starts against the Twins last year, had a 7.10 ERA, 8 home runs allowed in 19 innings pitched. I look for Minnesota to go yard at least a couple times today.
Yeah, and the Kogo's at 63%, so a good chance this can go over the total. We had 9.57, and right there, a ballpark figure at 9.5. Miami taking on the Mets, man. Miami almost came back and won that one.
Yeah.
Jacob deGrom, 14 strikeouts yesterday, something like that.
Yep.
Had a fantastic outing, but doesn't get the decision. And now he's up today for the Mets. I don't know who's starting for the Mets. I don't see a listed starter here, and this is what I'm saying.
I didn't have anything on that. I know they had Sixto Sanchez for Miami. Again, this is one of those situations where we're caught in limbo here because we don't know the starting pitching matchup. The only note I got here, Ron, is Miami is 3-0 in their last 3 following a loss. And the winds will be blowing in at Citi Field tonight, Ron, 9 to 13 miles an hour. So you want to keep an eye on that as a possible overplay. And if you look at the total right now on the computer, they're predicting 4.84 runs scored combined.
Wow. Yeah, that's a low one.
Yeah, and I don't know how they, again, we don't know the starting pitching matchup, though.
Yeah, I think it's based on the 7.5 total.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe Gesselman goes for the Mets today, but we don't know. We're just guessing.
And he struggled, so, yeah.
Pirates taking on the Bucks. I think this is another doubleheader, right? I think we talked about this one earlier. Yeah, we did. Now, this game's at 6:15. The other one here listed for 3:15. So again, doubleheader. We don't touch them. I don't, anyways. 3.73, 3.85, over under 7.58, and then the Dodgers taking on the Giants. Another doubleheader. In this one here, you probably have Walker Buehler's day off against Logan Webb. The Dodgers. Hey, the 22-9, but up against a Giants team that before yesterday's game, that game was canceled too, right? It was postponed.
Yes, because of the situation in the States.
Yeah, civil unrest.
Yes.
And then, and then the Reds in Milwaukee, that's the second one. Again, Wade Miller against Josh Lindbaum, or it could be Sonny Gray.
Wade Miley's pitching in the first game they got, so it's got to be somebody else in the second game.
Yeah, it just check the resources, folks. We just don't know. It's so inconsistent right now. You see one site has this, but looking at ESPN, see they got Sonny Gray listed at 5'10", but who knows? But we'll know at 5'10", right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, well, let's go to the 80% Club, Ross. One of my favorite segments of the show. Go open up the club here and play some Leonard Skinner here for you, Ross. I wish I had some Leonard Skinner going here. Okay. I got a good system here on the over in the Tampa Bay Rays game. The over is 11-1 for the Rays as a 160 to 180 home favorite. coming off a win in game 2 of a series the last 5 years. Now, we all know how depleted that Rays bullpen is, and if they can get to Yarborough early, man, and John Means is going for Baltimore. This one here looks pretty good in the old Raymond Tickler box here.
Yeah, exactly. Yarborough in bad form off his last 3 starts. Like Ron said, the Tampa Bay bullpen is a little bit taxed and depleted. And John Means, horrible in 4 starts this year.
Yeah, and then we got Oakland that is 10-1 as a 160 to 180 road favorite after division game the last 7 years. So that's a nice one right there for you. And if you do like Arizona today, I got one here. The D-backs, 12-2 as a 120 to 140 home favorite in the month of August the last 4 years. So take it for what it's worth. And folks,
they were minus 129 yesterday, so they were 1-14 in that situation going into yesterday, and they lost yesterday in that situation, I should say.
Yeah. So take it for what it's worth. Hopefully it cashes a winning ticket for you today, guys. But I think the over in that Rays game looks like one of our top plays here on the 80% Club. Again, folks, you can get our top plays here each and every day. Ross and I give out our free selections, and I have a free newsletter that goes out between 2 and 4 p.m. Eastern. Hey, the newsletter has been on a really good track here. I think we've won 3 straight going back to Sunday. I think it's either 3 or 4 straight going back to Sunday. So people, if you're interested in getting that newsletter, go to atsstats.com. You'll get a little pop-up menu at the bottom. Put in your email address, and you can get on our newsletter. Anything to share with us today, Ross?
Yeah, the bad news is I went 0-2 in my paid selections yesterday. The good news, 50-31 with my paid selections in all sports. That's 62% since July 29th. Be sure to check atsstats.com or OSGA YouTube channel. I give out a free pick video every day, Ron, and won 7 of my last 11 on my free pick videos. So, and today I'll have some Major League Baseball up for sale. Not sure on the NBA because of the uncertainty of the situation there. And most likely we'll have an NHL play as well. So that's rbwins.com, rossbenjaminsports.com. Again, folks, my subscription plans are guaranteed, not my daily packages. $149 for a 7-day subscription, $4.99 for a 30-day subscription. If you're not making a profit at the end of the term of that subscription, I will extend your package until you do. I'll do the same at Ron's site as well. Again, you can get my picks also at atsstats.com.
Yeah, and you can get my selection each and every day right here at atsstats.com. I give out my premium picks. I normally give 2 baseball selections along with a free pick. The free pick could be any sport, NBA, NHL, or MLB. And you can get them by visiting our website at atsstats.com. For Ross Benjamin, I'm Ron Raymond. This was the Raymond Report along with Ross Benjamin from rbwins.com. Shop for value, play those percentages. We'll see you back shortly with another Raymond Report.